she could feel a presence at her bedside. There was a man standing there with a gun. He rose it to her head slowly and demanded her cash and valuables. Then he slipped away into the night, leaving her unharmed but shaken, explains New Republic magazine of May 1st, 2016. After the event, Karen suffered constant fear, anxiety, and nightmares. Though she was safe, her mind remained in the bedroom of the gunman. She was desperate to escape and get her old mind back. Karen found Dr. Merrill Kent, a professor of clinical psychology at the University of Amsterdam, who claims to have found a way to neutralize the fearful memories without the use of lengthy talk therapy or drugs. This new treatment, memory neutralization, leaves the memory intact while erasing all fear associated with it. The National Institute of Health, last updated May 1st of 2015, notes that post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety affects over 30 million Americans each year, many of whom suffer a high risk of suicide. This new treatment can help these people get their old lives back. To appreciate how memory neutralization works, we must first understand how the mind forms fearful memories. Next, we must understand how the procedure unravels the process. And finally, we must consider future potential and concerns for this process. To understand how to neutralize fearful memories, we must first look at two things: how the memory is formed and where it is stored. So first, fear is a safety mechanism. We have evolved as humans to remember fearful memories more than non-fearful memories. A person who's attacked, for example, they more than likely will remember that for a long period of time because it's a traumatic event. But those same people can forget where they had put their car keys that very morning. As explained by the July 2016 Journal of Neurobiology and Psychiatry, this phenomenon is called memory consolidation. Consolidation refers to the mass of neural networks that the memory is formed in. The brain requires protein synthesis to build these neural networks. The networks act as a pathway to pull up the memory. It's a lot like how a computer can retrieve a file. Next, as explained in the journal, different types of the memories consolidate in different areas of the brain. This explains why people who've had a stroke can remember how to play the piano, but may not remember who their family's names are. Emotional memories, including fear, consolidate near the amygdala, which activates the fight or flight response. When very traumatic memories are retrieved from here, the brain is flooded with adrenaline and norepinephrine. These substances call on the body's fight or flight response. It manifests in extreme anxiety, and any time that Karen would be reminded of the experience with the gunman, she would fall into a panic attack, and her amygdala would get flooded with adrenaline and norepinephrine. Sadly, memories consolidated near the fear center of her brain are also more vivid and more easily retrieved than non-fearful memories. The more they are retrieved, the more adrenaline is produced, which makes the memory even stronger. This creates a cycle kind of like a tornado. It just keeps spinning, but getting stronger as it spins. According to the previously mentioned National Institute of Health, panic attacks stemming from traumatic memory affect over 30 million Americans and cost about $40 billion a year to treat. In summary, memories are protein-based neural networks that consolidate in different areas of the brain. Fearful memories are linked to the area of the brain that activates adrenaline and the fight or flight response, making them more vivid and powerful than non-fearful memories. Instead of treating the symptoms of the panic attack, Dr. Kent tried a different approach. She tried neutralizing the fear that was associated with the memory. To understand exactly how, let's look at the process step by step as outlined in the previously mentioned New Republic. First, remember when a fearful memory is consolidated, it's under high amounts of norepinephrine and adrenaline. These are substances that tell the proteins to form pathways to consolidate near the amygdala, or once again, the fear center of the brain. So the key to neutralizing the fear is memory reconsolidation. Dr. Kent discovered that memories can be rebuilt, carving out a different path for the neural connections a path away from the fear center of the brain. Here's how. The first step is to have the patient recall the memory so it activates in the brain. Dr. Kent asked Karen to describe the detail of her memory with the gunman, which of course caused her brain to get flooded with adrenaline and norepinephrine, and then she fell into a state of panic. What Dr. Kent discovered is that after retrieval, memories aren't automatically put back the same way as they were once retrieved. The proteins still require adrenaline and norepinephrine to consolidate back near the amygdala, kind of like how a little kid won't put his toys back unless his mom's watching over him. So at this time, while the memory is actively retrieved, a drug used to treat heart disease called propanol is given to the patient. Propanol blocks the production of adrenaline and norepinephrine. Now, the proteins are unable to build a network to the fear center. Essentially, it changes the way a memory is put back into storage. So it reconsolidates in a different part of the brain, perhaps stored next to other non-fearful memories, such as a wedding day or a high school graduation. It's like opening a file on a flash drive called traumatic memories, copying the file, moving it to another flash drive, and renaming it non-fearful memories. The procedure does not delete the memory, it only disrupts the pathways to the amygdala. Karen was able to fully recall all the details about the incident with the gunman, but without any feelings of panic associated with it. So today we have looked at how memories are formed and how to reform them so that they no longer paralyze a person with fear. Let's take time now to discuss the future potential and benefits of this treatment. Compared to the conventional treatment, memory neutralization proves superior in many ways. Whereas when drugs are prescribed to treat anxiety, they can take weeks to even start kicking in or even showing any results. Whereas memory neutralization starts showing results immediately. After her treatment, Karen told the previously mentioned New Republic that she woke up the next day fully able to recall the treatment, or fully able to recall the memory while not having any fear associated with it. Secondly, drugs to treat anxiety require daily medication, which of course includes a host of side effects, such as fatigue, nausea, addiction, and many more. These drugs treat the symptoms of anxiety, whereas memory neutralization just changes the source of it. So as for the future, memory neutralization looks pretty promising. As Dr. Kent told the January 12, 2016 New York Times, science thrives on replication. She's already made plans with major universities to keep neutralizing fearful memories in patients. She expects that within a decade, this is going to become a common practice. However, there are still some concerns that we must look forward to in the future. As the previously mentioned New York Times points out, our fear responses are natural. We have evolved this way for a reason. It will be important to remember at times some fear memory is healthy. Additionally, while the treatment worked very well for Karen Klaver, it has also cured just over 70% of the dozens of people it has been tested on. And in psychiatry, 70% actually ends up being a really good result. Yet, more research is needed to discover exactly what factors contribute to its success. Roger Pittman, a psychiatrist from the Harvard Medical School, told December 2015 Journal of Biological Psychiatry, "Cure is not a word often found in psychiatry, but a cure is exactly what Dr. Kent has found." Today, we examine this revolutionary cure by first looking at how the fearful memories are formed, then how the procedure unravels the process, and finally, we looked at to the future of the therapy. As for Karen Klaver, her memory of the gunman in the bedroom is still vivid. It just no longer holds any power over her life. The panic and anxiety are gone. She told the previously mentioned New Republic that it doesn't feel like science or medication. It feels a little like magic. Soon, many others will join Karen Klaver, who now lives a normal life with stable emotions and presumably an alarm system on her house.